Hello, my name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. I want to talk today in honor of Data Privacy Day 2021 about the issue that I think will be very prevalent in 2021. So the issue that I think will be very prevalent, that people will be talking about a lot, will be happening, a lot of things will be happening in regulation and legislation will be related to encryption. So in 2018, some of the Five Eyes countries had decided that they wanted to have companies that provide internet services to weaken encryption. And as we're seeing over the years, countries like Australia have already passed laws, and the U.S. has been thinking about removing some of the legal protections that companies have had in the past related to information that's put on the internet by other individuals. But then also in the U.S., we have an act called the Earn It Act that hasn't yet become law, but it's legislation that had been floated out there, which says that internet service providers or companies that host data of individuals should have lesser protections for legal cases, especially as it relates to how they moderate content and also how they assist law enforcement in things like child sex cases. But a lot of people see this case as being a way to weaken encryption across the board because, as I say many times with encryption, if you break some of it, you break all of it. So it's not as easy of a thing to be able to look at. Also, the EU is looking into things like encryption for some of the same reasons, to be able to help law enforcement to be able to have more transparency into data, especially as it relates to national security, law enforcement cases, or anything having to do with the police. Also, with the rise of advances in things like quantum computing that are coming up, the encryption or companies that are doing encryption or cryptography are getting more advanced. So we have sort of two dueling different pathways. So on the technology side, encryption and cryptography is getting more advanced. On the legal side, there are arguments being made around the world to try to make encryption a lot less strong, which could create havoc, I believe, around the world with applications that we take for granted now, like being able to bank online and do different things with our data and protect it in those ways. So, I think 2021 is going to be a very interesting year as it relates to this. I'm hoping to see more people in the tech industry be able to really explain encryption and cryptography in very simple ways, because if we have legislative bodies passing laws around technology, it's very important that they understand the technology. Also, as they're asking individuals for support, individual citizens for support for these things, it's important that they know the impact, the good and the bad of those decisions, so that they can make an informed decision about how they go. So I'm looking forward to see, again, a lot more discussion about encryption, because it's vitally important as we move forward in the world with a lot of the more advanced technologies and applications that people really want to see and want to use in the future. That's it. Thank you.